Hello, my friends. Welcome back to part two of Module 5, Lesson 6. Welcome to my channel. Here's your coach, Mr. Magno. Here, let's start right away. We have a complex figure here, and we're going to identify the total volume of this figure. That's exactly what we need, the total volume. And we're going to find out what these two solid figures have in common. Okay, so a couple of things to start first. Let's identify the things that the length and width and height for each of them. So this is the length for this particular prism. This is the height, which is on this side. This is the height, which will be the same as this one. And then we have the width. Okay, so there we have it. Now we need to find the height for the second one, not the height, all the dimensions. So this one should be the length, but notice that there is no number there. We're going to find out how to find that first. And then we have the length, which is related to this one below. So these two are the same. But now we have the height. The height is not 4 because this is giving us the total of the two heights. So now if we look at our picture, if you look at this 2, this is 2. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write 2 meters. This is 2 meters. Now I notice that 2 meters is half of this whole thing. So half of 4, when you subtract 2, which is the height for the shape on the bottom, then the answer is 2 meters. So now we know that the height for the cube above is 2 meters. And if you look at the math, the height for this one and the height for this one equals 4 meters. Okay? And now we also know that, and okay, so now we're missing one thing. Here's what we're missing. This is 4, but this is 6. And I know there's this part right here. We need to know the length of that particular cube. And the only way to do that is to see. So this should equal 6 because it should be the same length as this. So the way you solve this one, you're going to subtract the 6, not the 4 meters from the 6, and the answer is going to be 2 meters. So now we know that this part right here is 2 meters. Now we have the dimensions for all of them now. So let's do this together now. Let's call this volume 1, and this is going to be volume 2. So volume 1 equals length times width times height. So the length for volume 1 is 2. The width is, we said it's in common with this one, so it should be 2. They have that in common. And the height, it's 2, which they both, well, no, where is it? Right here. They both have it in common, okay? So now that's going to be 2. And now let's do the mathematics. I'm going to erase this from here so we can do this without confusions. So volume 1 equals 2, the width is 2, and the height is 2. Volume 1 is going to equal the area, which is 2 times 2 equals 4 times the 2. So the volume 1 is going to be 4 times 2 equals 8. 8 what? These are meters, so it's cubic meters because we have 3 dimensions. Now let's do the second one, that volume 2. Volume 2 is going to be the same formula. And it's going to be, length is going to be 6 meters. The width is going to be 2. We said that they have that in common, which is the width is right here. And the height is 2, which already looked at it. This is the height for this one, and this is the height for that one. Let's see. All right, there we go. Now let's do the find the volume for the second one. So let's do the math, and that's volume 2. The length is 6 times the width is 2 times the height is 2. So now we're going to find the area first. 6 times 2 is 12, which is the area. The area times the height, and that equals 24 what? Remember, these are meters. They're cubic meters. Now, the total, we need to find the total of this complex figure. As we can see, the total is already given to us. So here is the total. That's volume 1, and this is volume 2. So now we're going to write volume 1 plus volume 2 should give us a total. So volume 1 is 8 cubic meters plus volume 2 is 24 cubic meters. When we do the total, the volume total is going to be 8 plus 24 equals, that will be 32 cubic meters. Okay, so that will be our answer for this complex figure. Now let's write what they have in common and what they don't have in common. So if you look at this particular situation here, you know that the length is not in common because this is 2 and this is 6. But what they have in common is the height and actually this is the width and this is the height that they have in common. So now we're going to write our statements of the comparisons. So let me get my tool right here. So we're going to write the dimension these two prisms, the dimension these two prisms, okay, the dimension, okay, let me make this better. The related dimension these two prisms have in the related dimension of these two prisms is let's make this plural because that's going to be 2. The related dimensions, these two prisms, the related dimensions, these two prisms, okay, let me do this correctly. So I want you to give you the right answer. The related dimensions, these two prisms, okay, the related dimensions for these two prisms are the width and the height. How do you spell height? The height. Okay, the height and the width. Let me see, length, what is that? Actually, we call that the height. The height, okay, anyways, let's continue. The height. Okay, so those are, let's see, for both solid figures, the width and the height is 2 cubic meters. Let me write it down, cubic meters. Okay, that's the related dimensions. So now we have to write one for the unrelated one. So we're going to look at the unrelated one is, we notice that the length is the unrelated dimension. And this is how we write it. Text right here. The unrelated dimension between these two solid figures is the length. Okay, the length. Okay. It is for the large prism, the length is, we said, is 6 cubic meters, and for the small prism is 2 cubic meters. Okay, my friends, please watch the video again. These are your statements when you're comparing the length, the width, and the height. And this is how you find the volume for two figures that are composing a one complex figure. Signing out, your coach. Please watch the video again if you need to.